Hello everyone, hope you guys are having a great day. It is April 30th, and today I'm back in the video. Today I'm going to be talking about next week's severe weather. Looks like we're going to have another severe weather event get started on Sunday. SPC already has a slight risk out, and looks like we're going to have a pretty active week next week for severe weather. So yeah, let's get started with the video. So, this is our day 3 outlook for Sunday. There is a slight risk that goes from southwestern Tennessee all the way down into southeastern Texas. And then with the day 4 to 8 outlooks, we do have a day 4. And we can see that day 4 is Monday. We can see we have a 15% risk for areas of like Oklahoma City. Kind of goes over to Little Rock. I don't think Little Rock is in it, no, but Little Rock's very close to it. Tulsa's in it, Springfield. Norman is in it, and so is Broken Arrow. And I do think we're going to see some severe weather after Monday also. But yeah, now let's start looking at models. So Sunday at 18Z, that's Sunday afternoon. We can see we have a surface low kind of by the Texas-Oklahoma panhandle. And this is going to be the area we want to watch right there. So let's take a look at upper level winds. 500 millibars, we can see. Looking good over that area. 850. Also looking good over that area. Looks like a decent little severe weather event on Sunday. Let's take a look at instability. Instability could be a little bit of an issue, though. We got a 21Z Sunday. We don't have a whole lot of instability in our risk area. That could maybe be a little bit of a limiting factor, but to the south of our risk area, we do have a lot, 1,000 to 1,500 K, maybe even up to 2,000 in areas of Texas. So the southern part of our risk will have a little bit more instability, and the western part of it, but instability could be a little bit of a problem. And let's take a look at storm relative helicity. You can see we have a lot of helicity, around 200 to maybe 300 in some areas. And yeah, now let's take a look at moisture real quick before we take some soundings. We can see, yeah, we can see we have a nice cold front or dry line right there, and dews in the 70s and the 60s, so very moist air. Now let's zoom in on this area, and we're going to take a few soundings. So here we go. This might be too far west. Maybe the southeast will work better. Let's see. Yeah, this will work. So we can see we have kind of indicates some storms right there. Let's take a sounding in front of those. Those will likely have a tornado threat. Really, just a 2% tornado risk. Nothing significant. We have enough instability. Overall, not a terrible sounding. That's really a marginal to a slight risk. Take one further to the north, though, in southwestern Tennessee. Things could be, I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of severe weather. Likely just damaging winds up in that area of Tennessee. And now let's take one further to the south. Let's take one in southern Mississippi. All right, this is kind of impressive. We have we have decent shear profiles. Hodo looks decent. Overall, not a really good sounding, but definitely supportive of some severe weather. Let's take one in central, or I guess north central Louisiana. And shear profiles with this aren't really good. Hodo doesn't look great either, but I do think we'll see a 2% risk with this. And then, yeah, so I'm thinking that the area that could get an enhanced eventually is going to kind of look like that. The area that might eventually get an enhanced risk. This is pretty far out though still. And as of right now, I don't know if we're going to get an enhanced risk for Sunday. But I do think we could maybe see one. I definitely think it's a possibility. Now Monday, if you guys remember yesterday's video, Monday looks to be maybe a significant hail threat for areas of the south. So let's go ahead and go at the Monday on the NAM here. And this is 15Z. I want to go ahead and go to 18 or 21Z. So our surface low is in Oklahoma. Definitely not didn't mean to take a sign, but definitely doesn't look like a bad setup from just this. Let's take a look at dews. Yeah, so we can see we have our surface low right here. Some kind of cold front or something right here. Dry line, I think, right there. And pretty much it. We have very moist. We have very moist air though. Dews well into the 70s in some areas. Some areas, so very moist. And take a look at instability. Instability is extreme. Or not extreme, but significant on Monday. We have around 3,000, maybe 4,000 Cape in some areas, and I do think Dallas-Fort Worth will be impacted by this. Also, and let's start taking some soundings. So let's go back to precip type. This is the NAM doesn't indicate a lot of convection at this time, so let's take a sounding in Dallas. A little bit of a capped environment. That's probably working to not let any convection get going, but look at look at the instability we have though. Extreme instability. Shear profiles aren't supportive of tornadoes, but any storm that fires or any storm that really gets going will likely have large hail. I think we're going to see some significant sized hail with this. I mean, lapse rates are extreme. Or lapse rates aren't extreme. Lapse rates are very high. We have extreme instability. Overall, there's a few other factors playing into this, but I do think we're going to see maybe even an enhanced risk for hail on Monday. We take a sounding given as far north as eastern Oklahoma, where we actually have our 15% risk. Up there, we have extreme instability as well. Still a capped environment, but definitely a large hail threat as well. And that's what I think Monday's main I think Monday the main threat's going to be hail. And we get a 0-0. This is as far out as this NAM run goes. It doesn't indicate any convection at all, really. Maybe something's trying to get going in Missouri. Let's take a sounding in front of that. Yeah, large hail, damaging winds. Not really a tornado threat. The tornado threat doesn't look great on Monday, to be honest. Take a sounding once again in this area of Texas. I mean, these shear profiles aren't great for tornadoes. I don't think we're going to see much of a tornado threat. Maybe a 2% as we get closer to day one, which is Monday. But I don't think we're going to see a great tornado threat at all. And yeah, so now let's zoom further to the east here. I do think Monday we could see a severe weather risk also further to the east in areas of Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. We can see the NAM doesn't really indicate a whole lot of convection, but we can see it does indicate maybe some storms. Let's just get some soundings here. So let's take one in southern Alabama. Yeah, tornado threat, not really. Likely just damaging winds and some smaller hail with that. Let's take one in Georgia. Really, just some large hail and damaging winds as well. Tornado threat, likely 2% of that. It doesn't even look that good. I do think Monday we could see a marginal risk as far east as maybe South Carolina. Take a sounding in South Carolina, and supportive of a marginal risk maybe. It's very elevated also, but we have a decent amount of instability with that. The problem is if we're going to see enough of lift. We may not have enough of lift on Monday for a whole lot of widespread severe weather. I don't think we're going to see widespread severe weather on Monday. I just think across the southeast, I think we're just going to see a isolated severe weather threat, maybe a marginal risk. Further to the west, though, it does look much more widespread. Where we have our 15% risk in Texas, Louisiana, and that area. Now, let's go back to the GFS. Let's talk about later next week. Let's talk about after Monday. Let's go into Tuesday. And look, so Tuesday, this is Tuesday evening. It looks maybe decent for a setup across this area. That's a big area, but really across the deep south. Let's look at things. Let's look at instability. And we have instability. It's limited pretty far south though. Let's take some soundings. Let's start off further to the east. Yeah, not much of a severe weather threat for that. Take one in southern Alabama. A little bit of a severe weather threat for this. Nothing too significant though. Marginal, slight. Take one in Texas now. And overall, definitely a large hail threat. I do think that through Tuesday we're going to see a severe weather risk, maybe kind of like this. Yeah, now we got the Wednesday. This is Wednesday. Wednesday, I think, is going to be a little bit of a break. We don't have a lot of instability, and overall, we don't have a great setup at all for severe weather. But I think we could still see something across the south. Doesn't look great though. But we could see something. Maybe up in Oklahoma. Let's take a sounding right there. Maybe something. That's kind of a contaminated sounding, so let me get a new one. Yeah, maybe a little bit of a severe weather risk up there. Really just hail. And I do think we'll see some kind of severe weather risk, or maybe just a thunderstorm risk across the deep south, like southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, central and southern Louisiana, and Florida on Wednesday. Now, Thursday looks to be a little more interesting. We can see we have another wave of energy, and Thursday we actually have a low pressure right here. And with this, let me go out to 21Z on Thursday. We could see a severe weather risk across the southeast with this. It doesn't look to be anything really significant at all, but marginal risk maybe. That's far out there. That's 6 days out, but I do think we'll see something with this low. I think it'll likely be limited to central, South Georgia, South Carolina, and maybe northern Florida. Then actually, look what happens to this low after it moves out of the southeast. Behind it, we have a lot of cold air. Then it moves into the northeast, and that sort could get very interesting. So this is 21Z on Friday, May 7th. We have a 977 millibar low off or to the east of Delaware. If this was January, we would be looking at a significant winter storm for areas of the northeast and the mid Atlantic. But it's not January. We can see temperatures Friday afternoon are on the mild side, 40s, maybe some 30s. As this moves further north, though, it moves into Maine, or off the coast of Maine, I guess I should say. We will see the chance of maybe some actual snow up there. So this is 9Z now. This is Saturday early morning. We have some below freezing temperatures in Maine. We can see the GFS indicates snow mixing in for really a lot of Maine. Accumulations are questionable at this point. This is around 7 days out, 8 days out. But I do think we'll see potentially maybe a little bit of snow for the northeast as we go into, not this weekend, around the 8th, so next weekend. And yes, let's take a look at the euro for this. I didn't mean to do that. Let me go back here and get the euro. So we can see the euro has a much weaker low, and 996 and barely even any snow for the northeast. So definitely something to watch, or maybe some snow for the northeast. Even the euro has a little bit for some of the interior areas of Maine and northern New Hampshire, but nothing like the GFS and the Canadian. That's barely even anything. So we'll have to see if the GFS holds on to that. But as of right now, a lot of uncertainty with this next storm system, or could be a nor'easter if it happens like the GFS. Yeah, that'll wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be back tomorrow. But yes, goodbye.